Good morning, crypto lovers, and especially Grayscale Bitcoin Cash Trust investors out there. I too hold this stock, this trust. It's traded on the stock market. And today I decided to compare and contrast it with MicroStrategy. Recently, Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy came out and said something very interesting, that had you bought into MicroStrategy, you would have been better off than buying Bitcoin itself. So why am I talking about this? Because MicroStrategy holds a ton of Bitcoin on its balance sheet. Now, this here is MicroStrategy's day chart. And over here, this is Grayscale Bitcoin Cash's chart. The underlying asset with this one is Bitcoin Cash. Not Bitcoin, but Bitcoin Cash. Now, being a crypto speculator, that's what I am. Bitcoin Cash, I found very attractive a few years ago, as did a lot of other people. And also, I like Bitcoin, but Bitcoin was pretty much out of my league. Even when it crashed down to $4,000 or $4,500 US in 2020, it was still kind of out of my league. But Bitcoin Cash Trust on the stock market was not. So I grabbed a handful of that a couple years ago. Like I told you, if you watch my channel, you'd know this. I don't have tons of it, but I do have some. And it's getting quite interesting right now. Now, getting back to what Michael Saylor was saying the other day, and here we have his Twitter page. So he was saying that if you would have invested into MicroStrategy stock versus Bitcoin itself, you would have had a far better return on your investment. So let's go back to October and compare and contrast. If you would have invested into Bitcoin Cash Trust instead of Bitcoin or MicroStrategy, would you be better off right now? And I'm going to show you what I think about that because it's all on the charts. It's not an opinion. It's on the charts. And Michael Saylor is right. If you'd have bought his stock, MicroStrategy versus Bitcoin, say back in October 2023, his stock was down to, I think, $320. We'll write $320. Right down here, October 2023, not that long ago. Now let's jump to Grayscale Bitcoin Cash. If you would have bought in down here, it would have been about $1.50 per share. Now MicroStrategy today is trading, well, it went up to $2,000. So $2,000. Yes, I'm serious, $2,000. Now they hold a lot of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So it's moving with Bitcoin really well. It'll dump with Bitcoin and it'll pump with Bitcoin. So from 300 to 2,000, that's about 7x. 7 times your money if you would have bought down here into MicroStrategy versus good old Bitcoin. Now, if we look at Bitcoin's chart back in October, Bitcoin was trading at, let's say 27,000. Let's just say $26,000 back in October. Then it jumped up to about 73,000. So we have roughly almost 3x, 3 times your money. You'd have bought Bitcoin in October, you would have 3x your money in Bitcoin. In MicroStrategy, you would have 7x'd your money. Now, Grayscale Bitcoin Cash Trust, what would have happened? So we hit $16 today, from $150 to $16. That's just over 10x. The winner, 10x your money. From October to now, 10x. MicroStrategy, October to now, 7x. And good old Bitcoin, 3x. I told you guys months ago about this. Watch out for it. In my prediction, I'll go on a weekly chart for Grayscale Bitcoin Cash Trust, is we are trying to break our all-time high of $60. We're trying to. It seems like the altcoins are struggling this bull run for some reason, but Bitcoin Cash is doing pretty good. And we still have some upside, I think, with this. I know I talked about Bitcoin and this is Bitcoin Cash Trust, but Bitcoin is the forerunner. We have to face that, and that's okay. That's okay. Good. We don't want anything bad to happen to Bitcoin. So we have some room to go to hit our $60 price point. This isn't financial advice. I can't predict the future. I'm just looking at the chart and saying, when do we break our all-time high? And it'll be 60. Bitcoin has broken its all-time high. We're 25% of the way there to hitting the $60 point. Can we do it? I don't know. But when we look at chart to chart, this looks a lot like MicroStrategy's chart, believe it or not. See the resemblance? It looks a lot like MicroStrategy's chart, and MicroStrategy actually holds Bitcoin. So check it out. Okay, so going forward, what we need is more eyes on Grayscale Bitcoin Cash Trust. And believe me, there are eyes on it. People are buying. Look at its volumes. I mean, look at its volumes. Lots of nice green, higher volumes now than way back here, that's for sure. And when it goes up, people do buy in. They absolutely do. We can't deny it. So yeah, I'm holding this one. It hasn't been, a straight line up. There's been some hiccups along the way, but things are looking pretty good. Bitcoin is about to have its halving in April, but that's going to mean that the miners will get paid basically half as much to do the same work to produce one Bitcoin. So it's going to slow down the production of Bitcoin, and also it'll slow down how much they have. It's not an accident that Wall Street came in and bought a lot of Bitcoin. Oh, back here. We'll get rid of all this stuff. Back here, when they were talking about the spot ETFs coming out, I'm pretty sure Wall Street was buying down here. Then, Bitcoin jumped up a couple of weeks ago and broke its all-time high. And then we got the spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States, and the price just went stupid high because of that. But Wall Street bought low. And the reason why their purchases didn't really affect the price of Bitcoin all that much is a lot of those guys bought the Bitcoin directly from miners. Yeah, so let's just call it wallet to wallet, and then it had no effect on these prices. See what I mean? So they got in, I'm sure, down here or even sooner, and they got it directly from the miner. So going forward, if the miners are not producing, if they're going to have a cut of 50% in what they're able to produce with the energy that they put in, literally electricity, into mining Bitcoins, it's going to be tougher to buy from these guys. They're only going to have half as much of a supply. So eventually people are going to have to buy more from exchanges. What do you think is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin when that happens? More volume, whether it's red or green, has an effect on what you see up here, these prices. So if more people start to sell off on exchanges, well, we'll see more drama in the prices. But on the upside, more people are going to have to buy off of exchanges, and we're going to see it reflected down here. I'm telling you guys, crypto is about to get really, really exciting. It's just the beginning. I'm in this stuff for the long haul. I'm thinking a lot of these guys that I saw get rich, they had one thing in common. They bought the right crypto. Of course, in 2009, 10, 11, it was pretty much only, Bitcoin. There was some other stuff, but Bitcoin was king. And they held it for a decade. They got the right one. They held for a decade. Now there's over 25,000 different cryptocurrencies out there. But we know there's a handful that we should be looking at. And if history repeats itself and you get into the right one and you hold long enough, like those guys did, there's a high probability that something really, really good could happen. A lot of us take the approach of buy multiple different cryptos and hope that one really gets it right. So tell me in the comments, are you into Grayscale Bitcoin Cash Trust? What do you think its future is? Do you think we're going to break its all-time high of $60? And be sure, hit that subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.